One.
I think we're there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dark History's live stream. I hope you're all doing very well. Yes, everyone is alive, hopefully.
We are.
I'm Ben, as always. We've got Hallie, as always. And we've also got Zoe, which is not as always, but hi, Zoe.
Hello.
She's always here in spirit.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Good. We're good. How are you?
I am delightful, as always. Just trying to work out things. Oh, it's that one, isn't it? Showbiz Troll. That's today's one. I'm just going to put the description in the link. So bear with me 1 second and I'll get the description. No, the link in the description. And if you want to come on the stream, obviously everyone's welcome. Matt is on the mend. Oh, that's good, Sarah.
Yeah.
That's been not too bad then, really, is it? Like a week and a half, something like that?
I think so.
It's not great news, is it? But yeah.
No,
but glad he's on his way up, at least.
Yeah, him being on the mend is a good thing. I mean.
Yeah. So how is things anyway? How's your week been, Hallie?
Good, crazy. Everybody's, I have to admit, I'm a bit envious over this whole, everyone has all kinds of stay-at-home extra time and stuff, because I don't. I'm still working 40 hours a week, so I'm a little bit jealous. I'm not going to lie. I have to admit that.
Did you say you went down to like part-time for like half a day?
Yeah. And then it's like, no, we need you. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure. But hey, I'll take it. It's okay. Got to pay the bills. Got to keep a roof over the head. Yeah. I don't want the animals to eat my eyeballs, so.
It's never great, is it? Animals eating eyeballs. We have Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Here's Panda.
How are you?
Hey, guys.
Talking about people that are working like crazy. How are you doing, Amanda? Surviving?
Yeah, just hanging out, just enjoying life.
Not murdered anyone yet?
Not yet, but here's hoping. We're still only in the middle of the year, so.
Amanda, this is Baby Satan.
Oh, what's up, Baby Satan? Hey. Good job on Cards Against Humanity.
Thanks. For those who weren't there, which is most everybody, my daughter joined us in a game of Cards Against Humanity last weekend, and her screen name was Baby Satan, which, yes, I know that makes me Satan, which is just fine. I'm okay with that. So
I was going to say that. Would you take that in an offensive way? I can't imagine it.
Not at all.
Or that could just make you Rosemary.
I never seen the movie, so I don't know yet.
Oh, you weren't there.
No, I wasn't. I know, but hey, I'm going to say this disclaimer. She is well over 18, so her playing Cards Against Humanity was fine.
Responsible parenting there.
That's right.
Boom. We have Sharona. I'm just going to add.
Cool.
Hello, Sharona.
Look at Sharona's. She's got mermaid hair.
Whoa, I saw this picture.
It's very, very...
You have to get closer so they can see your mermaid hair.
It looks really very interesting when it's
braided.
See, she's got
4 different colors.
Did you have to bleach it before you did that, or did you just chuck that straight on?
Oh no, I had to bleach it a lot.
I was gonna say, because the light is very light in that. So yeah.
Yeah, and so I got 2 boxes of bleach, thinking it's usually enough to get through all of my hair. It was not. So I got 3 sections done and most of the 4th, and was like, this is a problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's when you run out in the middle of the job that you have to worry. Especially when you're supposed to be a professional and you're doing it on someone else.
Yeah. I didn't have to worry about that.
You start sweating going, what are we going to do now?
And with the quarantine, it was fantastic because nobody had to see it.
Well, and everybody's buying hair dye because everybody's dyeing, cutting, chopping.
Seriously.
Some of us have roots growing in from
I have
last year.
And I'm like, what?
I have an extra bottle of bleach, Panda.
Just ship it on over.
I'm afraid if I do it because my hair is naturally dark, that my hair is just gonna fall out, and I'm gonna be like, well, That's
This is
shampoo
what
for
we're-
me.
No more root problems though.
No, not at all.
No more roots.
Oh my god, it is so funny. Just like going to the market and stuff and seeing these women that have like bleach blonde hair, and then from about here on up, it's just gray. So it's like silver, and then they're blonde, and I'm just smiling because it's like, yeah, you're missing your hairdresser really bad right now.
Are you trying to say something about us fake blondes here?
No, I'm talking about the ones that
No.
like have everybody faked out that they don't have any gray hair yet, and then
yeah.
you look and it's like this little crown of gray all the way around the top of their head.
Well, in my defense, I think if I let it grow out more, it'll just be ombre, right? So, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just fingers crossed that the lockdown lasts long enough. And
Yeah,
then you'll be
right?
gold.
yeah, definitely.
No,
So
it's
Ben,
cool,
are
though.
you
It's-
prepared for this to be over and to go back to work and work nonstop for like 2 weeks?
No. No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't blame you. You're gonna have to fix everybody who did this. Yeah, they're all coming to
Well,
you.
I was going to say though, it hasn't like frizzed out. You've not like murdered your hair. It looks like it's in
No.
good condition still.
No, I was very, very careful to wait between bleaching and condition.
Wow,
heavily
that's like no
in
one
between.
ever, basically.
Yeah, no, I was trying to not like just break all of my hair off.
Yes,
When, when I
we
could
have
grab chunks and
Andrea.
pull it out, no, that's
Andrea.
no.
Toshiro.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
We got new people. How are you?
I'm good.
It's nice to meet you. How's your week been?
Not too bad. I'm still working every day pretty normally, so I'm pretty much in the normal swing of things.
Look at you lot. You're all so efficient, aren't you? Just cracking on.
No, no. It's a
America.
clever act.
My
It's an
quarantine,
act.
yeah. No, my quarantine goals and my quarantine reality are not lining up at all.
Two different things.
No. I thought working from home was going to be easier.
It's
Like-
hard.
I'm used to doing it at work where I have everything I need within arm's reach. Now I'm like, what happened to that file? Where did it go? Oh God, did I not bring that with me?
Oh, it's in the file cabinet at work.
Oh yeah. Guess I'm not doing that.
Back to bed then.
Yeah,
I'll wake
Yeah.
up tomorrow.
it's over.
I'll try it again tomorrow.
That's funny. Too funny.
So,
Yes.
what are these episodes that we're talking about today? We are talking about first and foremost.
Arthur Conan Doyle, and
It's the one.
Oscar Slater.
that's right.
The gross
Oh.
miscarriage of justice for Oscar Slater.
And then the giant and
Seriously?
P.T. Barnum.
Humbuggery.
Which is what I'm here for.
Humbuggery, right? I don't even know if that's a word, but I was
It
putting
is.
it in there.
It
It
because-
should
is.
be if it's not.
No, it
Right.
is
It is.
because I typed it and there
It
was
didn't
no
get
little wiggly
auto-corrected.
red line underneath, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's really a word."
If it's not
Well-
autocorrected, it's a word.
I was writing it, right? And I was like, humbuggery, that sounds brilliant. And then I was like, is this actually a word? Do you know what? Fuck it, it's going in. Like,
Don't take
I'm having this.
Yeah.
It's a word.
But
Yeah. It's a word on Webster's. What?
there you
Thank
go.
you, Hannah.
That'll
Something
do.
intended to deceive, a hoax or a fraud, or a person who claims to be other than what he or she is, an imposter.
So we'll probably start on the other one first. But before we do, I'm far too excited just to say, P.T. Barnum, what a troll, right?
Oh, that man.
He's a legend. I absolutely
I
love him.
So much respect for him because he basically just blatantly was like, you know what? I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing, and you're still giving me your money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And you're still giving me money. Super troll.
Yeah, everyone's just like, fuck it.
and then
Yeah.
I realized
it for the gram.
I was
Okay.
a big fan of his two original Cardiff Giants, personally.
Oh god. Yeah, the whole thing with, is it real? Is it not? Do you know? Or no?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh
Is
my
it a
god.
stupendous fake or so? A stupendous fakery. I had to try and read that the way it was written because it was literally written like stupend. and then just that was how they actually printed it in the paper.
That is fantastic.
Beautiful. I love that man. Everything about him. Anyway, let's get to him later. First of all, we've got Oscar Slater, right?
Yes.
So that was an interesting one.
That
It was a
poor
conspiracy,
man.
right?
Oh,
Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy, but I mean, I like conspiracy theories.
but
Like, I'll
yeah.
sit and listen to like conspiracy podcasts and really lap it up and enjoy it. But when it's done, right? I very rarely come away from it and think, well, I'm on board with that. But this was genuinely a conspiracy, right?
Yeah. There's no way that man committed that murder. And I like how everybody after the fact was like, "Oh no, what I told you before was completely wrong. What I really meant to say."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
after about the third story change from Lemmy, like I really wanted to slap a girl. Like
It was awful.
I'm
Wasn't it?
no. He wasn't who I saw. Wait, no, he was. No, he wasn't. What do you want me to say? Like
And there is no way she
My
didn't
mind.
recognize who the guy was.
Oh,
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. No, I would have recognized him had I, no, you knew who he was.
Yeah.
You knew.
It took me a while to process that, like, because when I first came across it, obviously I read it in the paper, and the paper was kind of giving you quite a good, like, almost like step-by-step blow of like what had happened, and it was actually pretty like well written and descriptive and like quite a lot of detail. And then it sort of said the bit where the guy walked past her in the hallway and walked past the other guy, and I was like, what just happened there? Like, I had to go back over it like 2 or 3 times. So I was like, and why did he just walk out? I don't understand this. I'm not grasping this idea at all. Like, why she just let him completely walk out? I mean,
just oh
that's strange behaviour on anyone's
Yeah.
part, isn't it?
yeah.
could she
When
have
you
been
first-
like so shocked though? Like where you're so shocked by some foreign person being in your house, you don't even like register or think to stop. You know, like when some people see like a car accident or something, they're like, they have a phone in their hand and they're like, what do I do? Like, I've never seen this before. I don't know how to respond. And the basic thing is to like, I'm just being devil's advocate here. So
Or
But the
almost just,
neighbor
like,
said she
tune it
had
out,
no
right?
reaction whatsoever.
Yeah.
but no reaction could be the same as stun. I mean, I'm sure she wasn't like, oh, gasp! But like, she could have just been like,
Isn't it also that thing where something can be quite so shocking that you essentially just act like it isn't there? Like it's like your brain kind of just erases it and you just ignore it completely entirely as well. Isn't that a thing? Did I just make
Yeah.
that up?
No,
No.
it is.
No.
It is.
happens every day at work to me.
She did say the side of his face because they made him turn so she could see
That's
the other
right.
side.
Yeah, she said she saw
Yeah.
like the side of his face or something. It's like, you mean his profile? Because,
The other side. No,
The other
the
side.
other
The wrong
other side. I'm
side.
sorry.
That was her big switcheroo, wasn't it? At first, was that?
Yeah.
Oh no, I said I only saw the side of his face, but then she suddenly started saying that no, she got a good look, no, it's fine, and
she was
Eventually.
she was
she
all like full of it, right?
Yeah, she was in on it somehow, some way. She had something. She got something out of it. I mean,
So that got me thinking when, Ben, you proposed about the nephew breaking in because there was a second will that was altered.
Yeah.
So did they ever like find that? Did they honor the second will or the first will?
So they honoured the second will. That was like the will that was like in force, if you like.
Because I was thinking, like, what if the nephew was like, "Hey, Lammy, like, help me off this broad, and then like I'll marry you, and we'll split."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the weird part about the will, wasn't it? Because I think Amanda might have frozen, but the point was well made before it happened, so that is actually quite timely for once. But the will idea was strange because it's not like he actually achieved anything for stealing the will. He just kind of found out the details about it rather than actually, because you might think you would steal the will so you could find the details and then get her to change it or something, but nothing really came of it. He just found it. But then I suppose but I don't know. And in a way, it's kind of interesting because if he had been written out of the will, why kill her then? Surely you'd want her to change it first and then kill her.
Unless he was hoping that if he stole and destroyed the new will, that it would revert back to the original one.
Reverts it. Yeah.
If they couldn't find the new one because he had possession of it, would it
Then-
revert back to the previous?
Mm.
It's not like
Yeah,
she
probably.
yeah, it's not like she could scan it and email it to somebody. You know?
Yeah,
I
I was just
mean-
thinking that. Who, like, I guess in the old days, you probably only had like one copy, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
Imagine whatever lawyer or whoever wrote it up would have a copy, but if they brought them in on it, like I'm sure that'd be easy enough to get rid of.
yeah, well, because then they used to keep like wills used to be kept in like safe deposit boxes and things like that, right? Because it's like your
Yep.
responsibility to keep that shit safe.
Yep.
Weird. I didn't really get it, but it was definitely. I think it was definitely. It had to be him. There was so much again, like, or just the way that she let him in the house and stuff like that. I don't think she would have let anyone else in, and it didn't seem like anyone broke in. So
Well, and even as an older woman, she hidden the coat pocket.
83, wasn't she, or something?
Yeah, she was an older woman, and she was of a decent level in society. I mean, she was wealthy and whatnot. I just don't see her letting, even if it was like the right thing to do socially, I just don't see her letting a complete stranger in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Not
before,
when she's
like,
there
the fact that she
alone.
was-
Yeah.
Right. And that's before she's like, you take into account that she was clearly like paranoid as hell. So, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, my nan used to like have like chains on her door and not let anyone in. And that would be like anyone, like even,
Yeah.
like late at night or whatever, like not just a complete stranger. So, yeah.
I don't know. Did the nephew know that there was another will? Sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't
Did
know,
he-
but I wouldn't have thought so. So maybe he was just sniffing around, trying to check it out.
Because, I mean, how many times have you heard of, like, somebody getting offed and then people just not realizing that they had done another will?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And then it's like, oops,
If you didn't know.
you didn't get anything anyway.
Oh, you mean like maybe he killed her thinking that he was going to be like minted, and then he
Right.
turns
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Like he just didn't realize. Because a lot of the times that's not something if you think that there's a chance that somebody might do something just for the money or because, I mean, if you're rewriting it differently to begin with, you're not real comfortable with how it would end up after you die. So it's not like you're going to say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you getting all my stuff, so I'm going to rewrite a new will and could, completely cut you out.
Mm.
Just so you know, you're out of the will.
Yeah. You just kind of do it. And then at the reading of the will, you find out that you just got zilch.
Yeah.
You just got blanked and you had no idea that there was a second will.
That's when the tables get flipped and stuff, isn't it?
Right.
Like-
Yeah. Tables get flipped,
People
things get
get
thrown. Yeah.
beaten to
Totally.
Yeah, so maybe he just rooted through the drawers and stole the brooch to make it look like it was a robbery so that no one would pin him for it.
So that was what Conan Doyle came up with, wasn't it? Was that maybe that all along that the brooch being stolen was just a red herring, essentially, like to throw the police and make them think that it was a robbery.
Well, that was my other thing. If it was a robbery, wouldn't they have taken a lot more?
You would think so, like because they managed to rifle through her stuff enough to, well, like Conan Doyle pointed out that I think he called it like negative evidence was the idea that it's what hasn't been stolen, is and it's still there and untouched.
Right.
That tells the bigger story. And like she had a side table with a bowl that had a bunch of jewelry in, and it just was completely untouched. And yet someone had gone into her wardrobe, rifled through her drawers, found like a box that had to be broken open just to get a load of paperwork. And the police took that to be he broke open the box thinking it was going to be jewels, but it was paperwork, so he just threw it all over the floor. But that's where Conan Doyle was like, yeah, but what if he was looking for a piece of paperwork that was in that?
Right.
So the other thing is, what if he actually found a piece of paperwork that he was looking for? And we're all thinking about a will, but it might have been something completely different that no one knows because he got it and took it and removed it from the scene.
Oh. But like, what could it be?
Don't know, like
Incriminating
perhaps like an
evidence.
adoption certificate or something for that
Oh, for the
mystery
girl.
daughter. Well, it could be
No.
anything, like maybe it was just something that was embarrassing for him or something. Maybe she knew of like an affair, or could be anything that he's just decided needs to be taken. Because you see the paperwork and everyone suggests the will, but we don't really know because if he removed it, could be anything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't, because there was that whole thing with the daughter, which was very strange. Like, was it like an illicit love child or whatever?
What was the deal with that? Was it like was it really the maid's or something, and then she played it off like it was hers, but it was
Other way
really the
round.
maid?
I think
Okay.
everyone suspects it was the other way round. So everyone, well, not everyone, but a local rumor was that it was hers, and she played it off as the maid's. Like the maid adopted it,
Okay.
and
Okay.
Was it like out of wedlock?
yeah. So yeah, because she was like a
Scandal.
spinster, wasn't she?
Scandal.
Yeah. So I guess it probably would have been scandal. So she played it
Yeah.
off onto the maid kind of adopted it, and then
So
but because they all lived together, it didn't really matter because they were obviously all living and working together. So yeah, like although. Welcome back, Amanda. I
Thanks.
got some cool pictures of this stuff as well.
what if it was like a birth certificate or something that showed that, it really was hers, and then it was something really incriminating that the nephew knew about, and then she would be kind of like stuck in an insane asylum because she was hysterical, and you know how women were like always put in an insane asylum. When
I
they
thought
were
you were going to say,
hysterical.
how women are
And,
hysterical.
And,
Always,
yeah, always.
always.
And then she wasn't capable of like, taking care of all her stuff, so he would gladly step in and do that for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that too.
Well, I feel like that's definitely a possibility, especially when you consider, part of why Oscar Slater was the man was because he was German and Jewish, right? So if she has a love child with somebody who is less than choice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was like 20 years old or something. Or she was like this crazy,
Cougar?
like
Cougar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This sugar mama or whatever with her jewelry. So I got some interesting pictures. I'm just going to show if I can figure it out. So this is the room that she. That's her dining room of her flat where she was found.
I want to live there.
It looks so dark.
Yeah,
Have,
I mean she's not there on it. It's not a gross picture, but
Aw.
yeah, there's no jibs.
Dang. No bloodstain, nothing.
That's a brooch. Let's steal it.
And she was apparently found like by the fire, like a head towards the fire, feet towards the photo sort of thing. And those chairs, I reckon they could definitely do the job because look at them. They're like rock solid, right?
Those are, because like back then furniture was made to like hold, to like last.
Yeah, furniture was real heavy back then.
Because quite a few people sort of suggested that it was her, right? It was the chair that done the job, sort of thing. But and how do we do this? Oh, am I going to be able to?
Did you
Sorry,
see
Karen.
that brooch? Did you see the brooch?
Did I? Yes. Have you seen a picture of it? Because I got a picture of it.
Yeah, because Amanda had sent me something, and it shows the picture of the brooch. I would have stolen it. That's not a picture. That's not what I thought it would have been.
Oh.
I mean,
So that's Oscar Slater, but
he
yeah,
was
the
a nice
brooch.
looking man.
Yeah, if this is right,
Did you come across an inventory of her jewelry, Ben?
not like a full inventory. Did you?
Yeah, actually, the National Archives of Scotland posted it, and like there's some crazy.
I've seen that website, so I must have just overlooked it, but or is it? Do you mean is it a picture with like?
There's a
handwriting?
picture.
It's with like typed writing. It says like half loop ring with 6 emeralds, a pair of gold. What,
She
like
had
rope of
loads
pearls?
crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like seriously, I'd have stolen that brooch too. It's not what I thought of a brooch. I mean, I'm thinking some ugly butterfly pin that that's a brooch. I mean,
So that's the brooch, right?
I'd have stolen it.
It looks like a jeweled septum ring to me, but
Yeah, right?
maybe just because I'm so used to them.
I'd have
what I thought,
totally
too.
taken it. I'd have taken it.
Yeah.
Can we take a minute to appreciate her interior design skills? I quite like that. Like I would quite like to make my lounge like a Victorian dining room boudoir kind of vibe. Would be
Nice.
pretty slick.
Yeah.
Some heavy chairs for killing people if they steal
Yeah.
my brooches.
Make sure like the legs are detachable. That way you can just like just hop
Switch
one
them out.
off and then
Well, see, okay, so that's a thought that I had, right? Like, so they mentioned about the chair and like killing that. Perhaps that he killed her with the chair. That's quite hard to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got that
chair and that
backrest in
space
a
is-
way. You're kind of like,
I'd be more inclined to think
Stone
it was
Cold
like a
Fastening it?
fireplace poker.
Yeah.
oh yeah, like a fireplace poker. Yeah, I agree.
so they were there on the scene, like there was a whole bunch of like fireplace tools, but the doctors all said that they didn't think that they were used as weapons. But then the doctors were pretty useless, so maybe they were her. But they all said that they don't think the fireplace tools were used. But
These are the same doctors that were like, do some cocaine about it. So I don't know how far I trust them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god. No, seriously. I'm not I have a hard time like taking the whole Victorian medicine thing. It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. I mean, like in that episode a little while ago. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Again, like that was a disconnect at the end of the sentence for once, as opposed to right at the start of the sentence or in the middle. So
At least
yeah.
it wasn't me.
Right.
How did you just rejoin, Hallie? Because I didn't let you in. You're like,
You don't question Satan's
ninja.
motives, all right? She just works in her mysterious dark ways.
Like the
Just
murder
gets
she just
in.
happened to be in.
now I'm confused. What was I talking about?
I don't know.
No, I don't know either. Words.
Old timey doctors.
Old timey
yes,
doctor,
yeah.
Victorian
Yeah,
medicine.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Nice one. So,
Thank you. Way to go,
yeah,
Sheila.
like we done like episodes about them, right? And it's like they say, like, none of these people really had any formal training. They just were just everyone was expected to act on a level that they just didn't really do.
They were like, I'm a doctor now. Listen to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Have some
Edinburgh.
Quackery.
I
Leave
suppose
this.
the one thing with this is it was in Glasgow, wasn't it? And Scotland was like pretty much the centre of the medical world at the time. So maybe they were
Quackery.
half decent. But well, no, I mean Scotland was like properly the centre of like like Edinburgh.
Actual
and-
real medicine.
Yeah, like actual real medicine. But I suppose that doesn't mean everyone there was half decent, especially if they were older and they were a bit stuck in their ways.
They're doing like autopsies in your kitchen. I mean,
yeah.
on your table. No, they would. They would like your dining room table. They would. That's where they would
Bigger
do
than the
like.
coffee table.
It's not good for your knees, is it? Doing an autopsy on a coffee table.
No,
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
not.
Especially not on IKEA furniture. You already have extra parts and a missing screw. You put like a 200-pound body on there.
Just gone.
There goes.
There goes.
There goes. Yeah, there goes the kava or whatever the hell it was called.
Oh my god, that is so
fair.
funny. I can't tell you how long it took me. I was looking for a lamp, and I just needed like a cheap lamp for a corner in the living room. And I was on IKEA, and I found it cheaper on Amazon with no shipping. I'm like, okay. I'm like, but why do they keep saying that it's not? I'm like, what is this? What is going on? It took me so long to figure out that the name of the lamp was not like NOT. And I just,
like bad
I like-
marketing.
I
It's
could
not.
not.
It's not.
I was like, so because it's like not shipping, on such and such date, and I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to get it, or
Are we shipping it?
I'm like, no, this is not okay. It just they need to reevaluate their names. I mean, honestly, it took me so long to figure that out.
Just be like, can you just change your language, please? It's a little bit hard for me to understand.
But no, but it's that's why they needed the furniture to be sturdy.
Is that the only reason you reckon? Autopsies.
Murder and autopsies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, wakes as well, because I mean that's you just leave the body on the table after the autopsy, throw some flowers around it, you're ready to go.
Maybe that's how they kind of like measured up the quality of furniture. Like, do you think this could hold Aunt Petunia or whatever? That table's lovely, but it would never hold your uncle.
Yes.
Something sturdier.
They'll bring out the extra leaf to put in the middle.
Next time I go furniture shopping, I am totally doing that.
Just gonna run and jump on all the tables.
Top of it.
This one doesn't work.
Yeah.
Excuse me, this one doesn't hold my weight. I need another.
Yeah.
Can we
Everything a little
stack
more
them?
sturdy.
Always plan for hypothetical autopsies.
That's a
So
good
are we
point.
pretty much on board with the idea that this one was a massive conspiracy then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
yeah.
poor guy, he like 16 or 18 years in prison? And it's not like it was just easy prison either.
No.
Can I-
He
I
was
mean, that-
actually doing hard labor.
Yeah.
I have to be
It's like
honest, though,
prison.
when they said that they got fed bread and coffee, I was on board for that. I was really on board for that.
At least they
Thing
gave
is,
him
though,
coffee.
is I don't think it was like fine patisserie. I think
Yeah,
it
that's
was
true,
probably probably a rock from like they've had in the kitchen for 2 weeks.
He's like sipping his coffee. He's like, "This is not French press." Just like,
Yeah.
But yeah, probably their version of instant coffee.
right?
Yeah.
You probably needed the coffee to soak the bread for a few hours before you could actually eat it.
Yeah.
But no, it was a long time in prison, and he seemed like quite a decent guy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Apart from at the end when he didn't pay off any of his fees and went, "No, thank you, I'm just gonna go wild."
You know what?
Hey, you know what? I think he
Actually, I
earned
think
it.
I kind of left that out of the episode because I didn't really like that, and I just thought it dragged it a little bit. But we should probably still like mention it. That,
No,
at the
you
end-
left him with a good standing. It's okay.
Yeah, so at the end, and also it was a little bit of bitchery between the two, and I just didn't really think it was that important, really. But so Conan Doyle paid like half of his fees, and the other half of his fees were collected like voluntary, like charitable donations or whatever. And when he won his money, Conan Doyle wanted to be paid back, and the guy basically just ignored him. Like totally ghosted on him and was like nah, and didn't give him any money back. But Conan Doyle got very upset about this and like went to the press and wrote papers about how he was a dishonourable man and all the rest of it. But I thought, get over it, Conan, you were minted. Like that guy's coining it.
It's
in
the
some...
principle of the fact. It's not the money, Ben.
That's Conan Doyle's point. That was his it was the principle.
He
but-
could have shelled out way more novels, but no, he had to help this guy. It's the principle of the fact. He owed him those lost wages. On top of lost wages. He started the original GoFundMe and got no percentage back.
Beautiful.
But I mean, this was when by this point, this was when Conan Doyle was a nut job anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there was that whole fairy thing.
Yeah, I mean that's like the tip of the iceberg as well, isn't it? He totally went off the deep end, like
Do you know
full
what I'm
David
talking
Icke
about?
style. Like he was on board with just about everything, wasn't he?
I'm just putting this out there. I'll believe in fairies over lizard people. How?
But,
Well,
but
that's
not
a
before
question.
space
That's
apes.
Not before space age.
Yeah, that's-
No, well, there's no doubt about space apes. I mean, that's just a given. But yeah, I'll take fairies over lizard people anytime.
Would you really though?
Oh yeah, totally.
But what
Hands
if the
down.
lizard people came from space?
And
Space? No,
with the help of the fairies.
absolutely. I'm telling you what, I'll bet money on the Fae any day.
Absolutely.
Well, we need to put this one to chat. Fairies or lizard people? What's more believable?
Okay, well, Sarah's right. She says space apes are number one. That's not even a question. I mean, that's just so. If we had to choose after space apes, fairies or lizard people,
You have Zuckerberg right in front of you, and you're going to say lizard people aren't real?
Sarah said,
Maybe
Mr. Sarah.
Satan makes a very good point.
Yeah, Mr. Sarah said, "What about lizard fairies?"
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, but I want one.
Draw the line at that absurdity.
But is it because sylphs are a thing?
Eh?
So, I mean, it's not that far a cry.
Are we thinking like lizard people, as in like government conspiracy lizard people, or like
That's
living
what
in
I'm
the
thinking.
sewers? Like, I
No,
need
like-
to
Like Miley Cyrus.
No,
I
like
mean,
the whole David Icke
Icke.
lizard people. That whole David Icke lizard people thing.
Okay,
like,
and then like fairies like Tinkerbell, or like the Fae Bridget Cleary. Like clap
Yeah.
your hands.
Like-
No.
no, like we're talking like the Fae, like Bridget Cleary, like the whole, Irish
Tricksters.
tricksters, like
Yeah.
evil little shits. Yeah, the
Don't
Fae.
mess with
Brianna
us.
said that's literally the second thing I heard about him. Do you mean about Conan Doyle being
Yeah.
like, crazy and like
No, the fairies. The
Yeah.
fairies. Yeah, that's what she was saying.
Yeah. So I'm inclined to believe that fairy lizard people should exist, and I definitely want one as a pet if it did. Can you imagine that?
Your monkey would kill it.
Little
Monkey,
trickster
No.
lizard flapping around your house every day.
monkey would kill it.
Cats are
Wait,
descendants.
Absolutely.
Wait. What are dragons? If not,
Like massive
Lizard
versions, I guess, maybe.
Fae.
Yeah, so basically having a baby dragon flapping around your house all morning.
right. Go on board now.
Mr. Sarah said that lizards and fairies are both in the monster manual, therefore are real.
Well, this is
Facts.
true. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
He's got a point.
Yeah.
He has a point.
Yeah, but so are lizard. Yeah, lizard people are. Yeah.
Oh, and Scott.
Yeah, they are. They're fully in. I mean, lizard people are not even in the monster manual. They're in the player handbook.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that's a playable race.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
And if it's a playable race, it must exist.
It has to be real.
Yeah. We all know that.
Absolutely.
So that opens a whole bunch of doors.
This is true.
There's bird people.
And as Morelli says, as is Bigfoot.
As is Bigfoot, yeah. It's always
Right.
Bigfoot, isn't it, with you lot?
Space Apes, Bigfoot, and yeah.
Absolutely.
One day, I'm going to do a Bigfoot episode and it'll just be like Exodus of Dark Histories. No one will ever listen to it ever again.
When you want to be
Reach your
done.
peak.
It could be a Patreon episode. The patrons would love a Bigfoot episode.
Yeah, we would.
See,
See?
I'm quite on. Are we going to start?
I
see,
speak on behalf of all of the patrons.
I speak for
We would love a Bigfoot episode.
Oh, we're like talking about Bigfoot again, aren't we? Because I'm well on board with like the kind of Yeti, like Himalayan mountain Bigfoot.
That's fine. We could do that.
That's fine. I'm good with that.
It doesn't have
But
to
is
be
that the same
Sasquatch.
thing as the North American?
Yeah,
mid-
you
like,
know,
It's just like
ready for winter. He's the
ready
winter.
for winter. Is that his winter coat? Like,
Yes.
I'd say
Yeah.
it's the winter camouflage version.
right? Okay.
I mean, every country has their version. That's,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and he speaks with a Russian accent.
yeah.
Bigfoot does.
Unless he's in like Nepal.
Yeti. No, it's still a Russian accent. It's a Siberian accent.
Mr. Mr. Sarah said that the UK is a sad and barren land because it has no Bigfoot.
Where would see?
It is.
Bigfoot couldn't even.
The best we have is like, oh look, there's a slightly large cat. Time to panic. And by large, I mean about medium dog size.
About
Wow.
It has the alien of Ilky Moore or Likey Moore or I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not
Not a cat.
That's right.
Space cat. Dimensional portal cat. It's a sand and barren land, though. I think that's more to people in it than Bigfoot.
The next Bigfoot we catch, we'll send over.
Yeah, maybe we'll ship one over. I don't know.
It's the result of the weather.
Countries giving gifts to each other.
Rent
Some
a
people
Bigfoot.
give the Statue of Liberty. Some people give Bigfoot.
Right.
It's just how it is now.
That's so American to send another country a Bigfoot.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey,
Here's the answer to all of your problems. Where does it disinfect your insides?
oh,
Bigfoot. Here's a Bigfoot. It will disinfect your insides.
Yeah, we don't do
Sounds
politics,
like
do we?
the
Let's
Bigfoot
move
will
on.
do it for you.
Talk
Yeah.
about Wendigo. Wait,
Oh.
I'm not up on Wendigos. What are Wendigos?
Oh my
Wendigos
god!
are terrifying.
I mean, aren't they just Harry Potter?
Harry Potter. Everything's Harry Potter.
Basically, yeah.
Ben,
so
no. Ben,
yeah.
no.
Wendigos
The
actually
Wendigo-
scare me.
Oh,
yeah,
Ben.
the Wendigo is one of the few things that scare me.
Yeah, that's what I just put in the chat. I was like, scary.
Wendigos,
No,
skinwalkers.
it is-
Not here for
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
They're great.
Someone needs to take
Okay,
the
well,
mantle here. What's
That's
a
like
Wendigo?
a whole nother. That's
I'm gonna
It's-
Google it.
It's like a mythic creature, and it mostly comes from like I think the
North
Algonquin tribe,
American.
like North American, like closer
Yeah.
to Canada and the Great Lakes
First
region.
Nations, yeah. The Cree believe in it. Utes, a lot of tribes,
a
There's
lot of
an
tribes.
X-Files episode about this, isn't there?
probably.
There's a
One of the more
supernatural
prolific
episode about it.
episodes.
Isn't
There's a
there
what, sorry?
an X-Files episode about everything?
pretty
Yeah, probably.
much.
Here you go. It's Wikipedia.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
The Wendigo is a mythological creature or evil spirit from the folklore of the First Nations Algonquin tribes based in the northern forests of Nova Scotia, the east coast of Canada, and Great Lakes region of Canada and the U.S. It is described as a monster with some characteristics of a human or as a spirit who has possessed a human being and made them become monstrous. Its influence is said to invoke acts of murder, insatiable greed, cannibalism, and the cultural taboos against such behaviors.
What did we watch?
All
the
my
show?
favorite things.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was going to say, sounds great.
Sounds like a
party.
Yeah.
Saturday party.
Yeah.
I think the most
Wendigos-
terrifying description I have ever heard of a Wendigo is it looks mostly human, except it is always starving, no matter
Always.
how much it eats.
Oh my god,
So
it's
it's
me.
always
During
very,
this
it's always very bony and thin and emaciated.
Okay, so it's Ben with my appetite during quarantine.
Right.
Man down.
I was waiting for that.
Now I'm over here looking
He
at
was
that
like,
like,
"Come on."
wait a minute.
Sarah said it's the movie Ravenous with Robert Carlyle.
Wasn't Robert Carlyle?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to find
night?
that and
Watch it as the next movie night.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. What do you guys think?
Is Ravenous the movie where he gets cursed by a gypsy and is like really thin and like wastes away?
That's thinner.
Okay.
Stephen King book.
Maybe we'll have to do that next weekend.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I'm up for it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll try and find that. But yeah, Wendigos and Skinwalkers terrify the living shit out of me.
Absolutely.
Sarah says, "Oh my god, it's so good," and I think we all know that Sarah and Mrs. Sarah's tastes is impeccable. So I'm on
So,
board for that.
We're
next week.
down.
Yeah. All right, that's next week's movie night then. If anyone's interested, because what we do is we watch movies together on. It's like a chat room where you can watch the film together and laugh about it when it's terrible hair flaps and things like that. So yeah, if anyone wants to come along, jump on the Discord, get involved, and we'll be doing that next weekend, I guess.
Oh my god.
Panda doesn't recognize Vincent Price without his hair flaps.
Oh, those were good. Those were hair flaps. Those were
Majestic.
Weren't they just a thing?
weren't they?
Oof.
Mhm. I thought the bangs were pretty on point. Yeah.
That's gonna
I
Yeah.
like the really big belts that just sort of went over their shoulders for some reason with massive buckles. Like,
Yeah, for no reason whatsoever.
I mean, pretty much the whole wardrobe was gold, wasn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
no, totally. But
So,
yeah, no, the
We
bang.
should fill this in with this talking about the Witch Hunter General. The
Oh,
film
yeah.
from like 1969, was it? Or
Something like that. It was Matthew Hopkins, Witchfinder General. It was with Vincent Price. It was just, it was good.
It was gold.
It was good in its own way, you know?
yeah, it's absolute gold. I loved it. Had a great time.
I mean, if you're looking for something factual, no, not your movie. But if you're looking for just pure entertainment in a kind of dark sort of way, then yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
solid.
Yeah. No,
So,
definitely do
have
that.
we kind of covered Oscar Slater? Do you reckon?
I think it was total. I'm
Yeah.
in the conspiracy world. Yeah, it really was.
Does
That's why-
anyone think that it wasn't, and it was just someone who broke in and a much simpler attack? Like anyone in chat, anyone anywhere, anyone in like? Because I mean, it does sort of get turned into this really big conspiracy thing, but it could have just been someone broke in, but I don't believe that.
Wouldn't there be more string of break-ins around the area? Like, how did they know to be like this one right here with the brown door? I got a feeling, guys. We're gonna go in here with our little claw hammer,
Wasn't she kind of well
get her
known?
and her little dog too, and out we go with the paperwork.
If it was going to just be a random robbery, wouldn't they have taken more than one
Brooch?
brooch?
You think so, right?
And they would have taken the stuff out in the open that they didn't have to search for.
Right.
I don't know. That chair seems like it'd be a bitch to drag down those stairs. Leave it, Mike.
but-
Leave it. It's fine. This
What
is
about the
mahogany.
Yeah.
What's that?
This will definitely hold my arm.
What's that, Andrea? I thought Andrea said something.
No, I was laughing at the "This is mahogany."
Oh,
Yeah, so I think everyone. Brianna says nope, so Brianna's on board. Yeah, I think it's pretty much this was a conspiracy.
that's fine. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I feel like silverware would have been missing if it had been just a robbery.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
Because it was real silver.
right, exactly.
That shit tarnishes, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Not worth the effort.
I'm serious. Diana,
I'll keep my stainless steel.
yeah, when I was a little kid, my aunt, every like holiday meal, she would lay out the good silver, and it was legit silverware. But I hated it because afterwards it was me sitting there with a towel and
Polishing it all.
and polishing it afterwards. I'm just like, oh my god.
Mhm.
Hey, but if you're ever attacked by a werewolf, Hallie, you're ready. Just get that like silver butter knife and ha!
That's right. Who needs a bullet? I've got a
Right.
butter knife.
I just start throwing like the shrimp fork at him. Away, beast! Away!
It sort of reminds me of Shaun of the Dead when they're just chucking like
Yes.
a box of kitchenware at the zombie.
No, when they're doing the vinyls and they're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
going through, and then I don't know what he says. He's like Duran, chuck it, and he like locks in the head.
Yeah.
Blue Monday.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
Much.
I guess we can talk about the giant.
The troll.
So I had a lot of fun with this episode because I was a little bit unsure. I'll be honest.
Why?
I didn't know if it was just a little bit. We haven't really done anything like this for Dark Histories yet. Like something. I mean, we've done sort of some that have been a little bit lighter, haven't we? But like, I haven't done one that's really kind of just ignores the idea of anything grim and just goes straight an obvious fraud that was
Oh, no,
kind
it
of
was-
for fun or whatever. But
It
I
was
just thought,
fantastic.
yeah, I thought it was time to do something a bit lighter. And at the moment, it's bleak enough outdoors. We don't want to listen to it as well, right? So I was
Yeah.
like, bugger it, let's do it. And
No, it
I
was
had a lot of
great.
fun with it. I thought it was great.
We could tell.
Yeah.
We appreciated Ben having fun
Yeah.
with the episode.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I don't know if anyone else knows, but even that little prelude, like in the beginning, you could hear Ben's voice kind of like you could hear it. Like if you go back and listen, you can hear that in there. And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna be good. Oh.
Well, yeah, the whole thing was just absurd, wasn't it? It was absolutely ridiculous. But I loved it when it started unwinding. But yeah, I mean, interesting. So I don't know really where to start with this one actually. So
That's a hell of a long-term con, though, to be like, you know what? I'm gonna fool these religious folk right here. All right, I need a statue. I need a sculptor. I need to ship in the things. Like, it felt like Italian Job for like a prank. Like, okay, we're gonna ship in this stone from 7 million yards away. Okay, and the cover of darkness. Like,
it was a full-on like operation, wasn't it? They had to like hire like people to work. It's amazing that it stayed quiet for so long, given that there were so many people involved. You know,
obviously
like,
worked for Taylor Swift's like PR team.
But to be honest, that was one of the best things about it all. I thought was that the reason they didn't stay quiet in the end is because the pleb didn't bloody pay them.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if you want the moral of the story, it's that right there, isn't it? Don't screw over your labourers, the people who are helping you get there, because it's only going to come back to bite you.
I mean, I learned that in Fight Club.
Yeah.
I recommend not eating the chowder. So
Hey,
I don't know. I like the Latter-day Saint jumping in and licking it.
Yeah, he was pretty great, right?
I'm just gonna lick what I assume is a giant corpse.
Who does that?
it's for science, guys. I mean,
Take one for science. Is that what it was?
The doctor
Why was
probably
that
told him
your
to do some
first
coke.
instinct?
Oh my god!
Time for my morning line, and then jump down and go see a giant.
Yeah, it tastes like a corpse, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like how many
How many bodies have you licked?
petrified bodies has he licked before to know whether or not it tastes like one?
Well, so
Okay,
I
at that
assumed
point,
that
I don't
he
think it
was-
would taste like a corpse, but a rock, because it's supposed to be a fossil. I
Right.
mean,
I assumed that he was like testing for salt or something like that.
yeah, right. It's a little salty. What do you guys think, Jim? Get in
And,
here.
and as we all know, Hallie does that, so it's not like you can say that's not normal, because Hallie licks her Play-Doh for salt. So
Hey, in my defense,
I thought you were gonna say that Hallie licks like statues or something. Like, we're about to learn something new about Hallie.
well, we don't know. I mean, so all we know is that she licked her Play-Doh and she knows that it's got salt in it. So
in my defense, Play-Doh had a kitchen set where you used to make things with a little kitchen. So
oh
you know,
right, okay. The excuses now.
Are you
Yeah,
justifying eating Play-Doh?
trying.
didn't-
Yeah.
Quiet,
I didn't-
baby Peyton.
I didn't.
I told her that's what you should put on there, but you know,
I didn't eat it. I just licked it.
I'm pretty
And
sure
it's
licking
salty.
fossils is a thing, though.
Licking
It
fossils?
it's not
is
licking-
actually one of the geological tests that
Yeah.
geologists will perform to determine what
No,
type of
it's not
rock
licking.
it is.
Alice's husband used to do that.
Yeah.
Like-
Honestly, I
There are
have a
some
very
rocks.
clear memory of being in a class in undergrad and watching my professor go, "You want to know how I can tell?"
Like,
I
yep.
was like, how many times have you licked that? And why?
Where did
Oh,
you
you
go
mean
to
it's
school?
actually a proper scientific
remember the
legit
same
thing
thing.
even now?
Yeah.
Apparently so.
Yep.
I don't know. I was watching. Side note: I was watching Evolution, a great comedy, and so I think it's Orlando Jones' character. He like licks the wall, and he's like, "Yes, highly acidic and concentrate. We have to go this way." So I don't know. Maybe they're testing for acidity or salt content, or
that was my assumption, was that he was testing for like minerals or whatever. But
Yeah.
but then I mean, licking everything is a thing on the internet, isn't it? I'm sure you can find literally like a.
Bones stick to your tongue.
Don't look.
That's why I
Please.
didn't Google it, to be honest, because it's like, what am I actually going to be Googling here? Like,
Listen to Aunt Sharona. Do not Google licking everything.
According to the Smithsonian, you do lick bone because it will stick to your tongue.
oh, there you go.
bone,
Bone,
like any
specifically.
bone. Like if I like a chicken bone, it'll stick to my tongue.
Well, I'm
Right,
sure
is
there
anyone
are.
going to make this innuendo, or are we just going to let it pass?
I was
Oh,
thinking
letting
it,
that
but-
go.
We
I was
didn't
gonna
even
let
go
that
there.
go.
That was you. I'm just saying that right now.
Although they do have bone in quotes. So I
Hey,
don't know.
I'm just saying I won a round of Cards Against Humanity with this whole topic, and sure, I'm gonna vouch. It's so good then. So anyway,
Yes,
Oh,
licking,
man, that rap game.
licking
Just-
fossils. Yeah, no, I did assume that. I mean, I didn't look it up because I was like, I'm not googling that. But but I did assume that there was some scientific idea to him. But I love the fact that everyone still just went, this guy's crazy. Latter-day Saint and licks fossils.
Okay.
I like the fact that they all just slopped around in the bottom of the pit.
I'm like, oh hey, let's go
Like
play
they
in the
didn't think
mud.
to like drain it first or try and get it out. They just went, yeah, let's just jump down there and get in there.
Draining it would have taken so much work, though.
Yeah, because I mean, eventually they got
I
that
guess
pump,
so.
didn't they? Because it would have eroded or whatever. But
But I have to admit, like, one of my favorite parts was when you were talking about the guy that went with the other one to dig the well, and how he wasn't much good at digging with his one
So,
arm
yeah,
and all.
one arm. I didn't know if I was being a little bit unwoke with that.
He
But
went to go pick up the rocks instead because he only had one arm.
You
So
know,
he wasn't
improvise,
good at
adapt,
digging.
overcome.
So yeah, on that subject, I don't know if anybody else had this mental image, but I'm thinking, okay, so he's going to collect the rocks, right? Is he using a wheelbarrow? Because how?
well, to be fair, he just wasn't much cop at all on that job. If you think about it, I mean, you need two arms to pretty much dig a well, right? Pretty much everything. I had images of him just kind of drifting around and picking up a rock and bringing it. There you go.
Yeah, that's kind
Like,
of
and then just kind of drifting off and yeah, cheers, Bob. Like, you know,
Thanks, bud.
just pop it over there, yeah. Sort of like the naughty kid that you just kind of just pretend that they're involved and
Right.
they'll be happy.
it's
Yeah,
the one
just-
guy in your group project who's like, "I'll just make the title page, guys. I'll put all our names on it." Like, minimum effort, maximum grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes him 3 weeks to do just that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, who's
Yeah.
in our group again? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so to be like less harsh about his disabilities, it did. The thing that I read about it did say that basically, like, people tended to employ him because he was a vet more so than his actual work acumen, and he would just. It was almost like charity, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of think he probably just sort of sat on a tree stump and went, "Keep it up, boys."
Good job.
He was
Good job.
No, he didn't clap though, did
Oh,
he?
No, he
Good
couldn't.
job.
No,
Did him slap his leg?
He can slap his thigh.
It's that foot stump thing that you
You're
do.
gonna get on Hallie for clapping when you mentioned a stumpy arm guy sitting on a stump. That was rude.
So let's get off this.
Space 8. Space 8.
What's interesting is how they got the dimensions to be slightly realistic for molding and casting the giant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they went 10 feet where they could have been like, yes, 36 feet. That's a good giant size. And that's
you-
just
had
his
to be able to
hands.
move
Like,
it.
So that's the giant, right? That
Yes.
that there's the giant.
Yeah.
I kind of can't
Yeah.
see that I'm holding it right.
Yeah.
So
you
that's
are.
his
you're good.
face.
Now,
Does
did you
look
say
quite realistic?
Did you say something about it? Was they were like concerned about how improper it was to have him naked, and so they covered his genitalless, like the
Yeah.
area, like because he had no genitals, but
genitals?
they had to cover it because it was like
Because it was the 19th century and they all a bunch of like.
nobody wants to see
Prudes.
giant junk, all right?
But if he's
Rock hard
naked,
giant drunk, no.
if he's naked and he's a person and he had no genitals,
I mean, that's not really too
Are
much
you
detail
blind?
there, is there?
Sort of thing.
I just don't understand. I'm so
What,
She's
wait,
really
what was
concerned about the
that
genitals, you guys.
I mean, if they wanted if they wanted us to be realistic, wouldn't they like include all the like?
You just
typical
want to know if he
parts?
had like a massive dong. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly what I was thinking.
You
in the
verbatim, that's what I was
episode-
thinking.
No, 'cause in the episode, you made a comment that he had like no sexual like organs down there.
Yeah, no, I didn't. So, moving on.
Giants, they're asexual. They breed through like osmosis or something.
Osmosis.
Yeah.
really, really hard.
Just like snails. Okay, I got it.
Actually,
They all lay eggs.
snails laying eggs is really
Wouldn't
disturbing.
they have
to
a
me
cloaca then?
Sarah, Sarah said it sure wasn't a Greek sculpture.
Isn't that the truth?
I know way too much about
Oh,
genitalia with Greek sculptures.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Hallie's just like breathed a sigh of relief when you said about Greek sculptures for a second. Like, and...
He's like, excuse me?
I know way too much about genitalia, guys.
Yeah.
Angry.
And Greek sculptures. Wait for it.
So yeah, but
Nice save, baby, save.
like it's not. He wasn't exactly like super technically detailed, right? So it does seem quite amusing that they had to like cover him up.
Yeah.
You can view him
I
from
think that's kind of
20
interesting.
feet. Social distancing with the giant, that way you can't see details.
That's true. I don't know if there's any better pictures of him. Well, there we go. There's a sort of better picture.
His posture is placed weird.
See, he had one arm like
He's
behind
dead.
his back.
Jeez.
Apparently, that was supposed to make him look like he died like naturally, like in, sort of writhed in pain, sort of thing. And
Okay.
All right.
oh, there's the one with a bit of context in terms
Oh,
of
my.
size.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
pretty
just
big.
gonna
Yeah,
not
I
say
know what you're
anything
thinking,
about the
Amanda.
fact-
Don't say it. But
Ken,
yes.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
But so they dug him out, and then everyone just paid loads of money to see this thing. An obscene amount of money
A lot
was
of money.
flashed around this giant, right?
Yeah, and no matter how much Barnum offered, they wouldn't sell it.
Yeah, he offered 50 grand at one
That
point,
was
and they were like, nah.
They're like,
And
no, I just said, thanks, go make your own.
Yeah.
That's
So
50 grand in old timey money.
yeah.
I know.
Not like new timey Bitcoin.
Right.
What are you trying to show us?
So this is I can't. This book's too big. Wait.
It was made for the giant.
That's what. Never mind. You just said it. What are you trying to show us?
It's the 10. Oh,
It's the
fuck
what?
it.
That's a really good demonstration of you holding a book, Ben. Thank you. No,
Yeah.
would you like
10 wood book again.
There we go. That's the exhibition that he put on his farm when he erected
Oh,
the tent.
Jesus Christ.
That's what they were charging people to get into basically, and people were going like, "Yeah, that looks worth it," paying like 50 cents a time or whatever.
Hey, Ben.
Mm.
Wouldn't it be great if you like scanned it and attached it to the show notes, so you didn't have to read to us like a third grader?
Wait, show notes.
Now you're
Show
saying it.
notes?
You were really
Yes.
good on them, and then I don't know what happened. But anyway, back to the
Oh, so
cartoon
that was-
giant and your lack of show notes.
About an hour before this live stream, I was like, "Oh no, Amanda's gonna kill me."
And I'm covering my ass here because I
Because
asked
Ali
him about
reminded
it like
me about
that's
2
right.
or 3 times as well. Yeah, and that's the other thing that went through my head was Amanda's gonna kill me, and Hallie reminded me like twice, so I'm gonna get it from both ends.
So
And I love too, like, sorry, on the Patreon page, you're like, "Oh, I've been so good on show notes, nee 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 nee." For episode
I'm glad that
5.
wasn't just me.
Yeah.
So I had to find out $50,000 in 1869 is equivalent to $948,952 today.
Oh,
Yeah,
Round
I
that
would
out
do
to
a
the
lot.
numbers.
I would do. I would
So
sell a lot of things for that.
just
Yeah.
under $1 million.
Oh, pff,
It was
And
big money, right?
that's the
Yeah.
standard price of a home in Los Angeles.
what's
I would hold
why
on
I don't
too.
live-
how much?
this is why
How
I
much-
don't live in Los Angeles.
But what's the? How much was 50 cents in today's money?
50 cents, 2 quarters.
No, in today's
No,
money.
no.
I want to know how much these people paid to go see a fake giant.
Well, if 50,000 is almost $1 million, then you
Just under $10, $9.49.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to kind of see it as like purchasing power as well, haven't you? So like the idea of what can you actually buy with 50 cents? But I reckon probably quite a lot, right?
So it would be equivalent to like a $10 entry fee.
Pretty much.
yeah.
That's
I
still
guess so,
cheaper
yeah.
than a matinee at a theater.
That's true.
I mean, it was only 15 minutes, but still, that
Yeah,
doesn't
you
include
get-
popcorn and a
and
soda.
You get to see a stone man buried in a muddy pit.
It's kind of like walk through, just walk
That's what I always
through.
wanted.
Like when you go to the fair and you go to the rock exhibit and you've got to go through that little dark room where they turn off the lights and they glow and then they turn them back on again. All you have to do is walk through. That's all you get. You don't get to stop and stare. You just walk through. $10 and you
Does
just
that
walk
happen
through.
everywhere?
I went to a fair like 10 years ago. It was in LA County, and they had like the world's largest horse, and it was the same thing. It was like a $5 entry and a tent, and they were like ushering you along as you look at this Clydesdale, and it was massive. I've never seen a horse so big in my life.
See, this is a very American thing, right? That I really like, and I would absolutely kill to go on like a road trip across America and do this. It's like you guys have like roadside attractions, right?
like world's largest thermometer.
Yes.
Yarn.
You have the dinosaur exhibit off like the
Yeah.
10 to.
Why do you have to embarrass us like this?
It's
Yeah.
incredible. And
I
is
think
this
this is
where it
fun.
Came from?
This
Is
is-
this,
Yeah.
has it stemmed from this kind of thing? Like
Yes.
Barnum and all the rest of it? Like,
Probably so.
I love it.
Well, I found it interesting, like the location of in upstate New York, because I think upstate New York is where the Paul Bunyan myth legend started.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh, babe in his blue box.
Isn't there a hotel that's Paul Bunyan or something as
I'm
well
sure there
in
is.
America?
Dude,
that
Paul
you
Bunyan
can
is
stay in his
everywhere in
head?
New York.
I'm
I
sure
was
there
just-
is.
I was just trying to find out what ticket prices are for the Ripley's Museum in
Oh.
Baltimore.
See, Copper says pinnacle of entertainment. Yeah,
That's
I think it is.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the
mean-
last time I was there, I absolutely paid whatever it was. I don't even remember
To
to go
go
through the
inside.
Ripley's Museum because why not?
Because believe it or not,
Yeah. Definitely not,
Yeah.
right? But brilliant.
No, but I was still paying the money to go in there and look at the fake shrunken heads because
Mm.
this is cool.
But if you think about it, that's most like I don't know weird oddity in places like here in LA we have the Museum of Death, which is the same thing
Yes,
you pay
right.
into, and
I
it's
would love
like
to go there,
you look
yeah.
at really interesting. Like oh, Ben, you would probably love it, but like it's the same thing for like odd attractions and side steps that you
Yeah.
go to, you know. And then like Las Vegas has its like mob and crime museum where they have I
Mhm.
can't remember the wall. Valentine's Day Massacre, where the wall where all the mobsters were lined up and shot, like it's the actual wall you can go see. So I think part of that is part of like American culture, but we also like the grim, dark history part. So and the weird oddities thing.
It's obscure.
Yeah,
I mean-
Philadelphia has the Mutter Museum, which is
Yeah.
like real medical oddities.
Yep.
Mm.
yeah, I've never been there, but I've only seen it like online for whatever you know. You can
It's
see online.
incredibly
It's
beautiful.
incredible. Yeah, it looks really neat.
I went in high school. It was awesome.
There's a really cool like medical museum in London that is so fascinating. The weird stuff, like all the old medical tools and old eyeballs
Yep.
and dentures and prosthetic limbs and stuff from like 500 years ago. Amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah,
Mm.
that's right up my alley. And I think things like Ripley's Museum wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for P.T. Barnum.
So I'm going to give a warning just in case, but I don't think it really requires one. But incoming Fiji mermaid.
Oh!
For anyone that doesn't want to see
Yes!
No, I've got that
because
pulled
this
up
is proper
somewhere
nightmare
too.
fuel.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How did that fool anyone?
I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know.
I think people want to believe a lot of the times, and
Yeah.
that's enough. You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
I really want to believe mermaids are real. Here's a mermaid. And that happens with a lot of things outside of mermaids and giants and such.
Bears, oh my.
I especially like how that they advertised it with like beautiful mermaids with flowing hair on rocks, and then people turned up and saw that.
Yeah,
That
She didn't age well.
it's like they took a monkey and glued it onto a coelacanth or something.
That's actually
Yeah.
probably pretty close to what they did.
Yeah.
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 I mean, Barnum was just like mega troll. I mean, if you think what Barnum was doing before his time, right? Trolling the internet was basically invented by Barnum, and catfishing on like Tinder and stuff
The
was
first
basically,
catfish.
was basically
Yeah.
invented by Barnum at this point, I reckon.
Infomercial.
Yeah, he was a legend.
Infomercial. Like, yeah. I was actually, for some reason, I was up at 4:00 in the morning last night, and I'm watching an infomercial, and as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, this guy is the modern P.T. Barnum. Because all he is doing is hawking something I don't need, feeding me a line of bullshit, and I'm still going to buy that knife.
Yeah.
You're like, I know you're lying to me, but it's working.
Right. Right.
I thought he was great. I really liked. I mean, he was obviously like, because at the end, I kind of didn't really want to go into it too much because I wanted to keep it but like, and he was a prick, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
he
Barnum.
was.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the things that have like. So I just kind of left it by saying, you know, he was like the best of it and the worst of the 19th century, really. Like, but let's just focus on the positives. How great was his museum?
You know, I was reading an article. Like, he actually paid his actors really well, like the bearded lady and
Oh yeah.
Tom Thumb.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as much as it's horrible to exploit,
Little kids and teaching them how to smoke
I was
cigars.
trying to think of the right umbrella word to use in this situation, but to exploit people for an income, like they got paid relatively well. It wasn't like, hey, I'm going to exploit you and you get 10 cents to the dollar.
So and I suppose you know the continuation of that argument is what else were they going to do? You know, in a time when people were so heavily prejudiced, like were they really going to get a job anywhere else? They certainly wouldn't have been shut front of shop anyway. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so.
I mean, the other alternative would be traveling circuses. At least with Barnum's museum, they were in one place. They were settled.
Yeah, he was like a kind of the top of the tree for that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
like
he was also really good at advertising. He was the one who was in charge of like demonstrating the strength of like the Brooklyn Bridge when he marched all his elephants across.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know that his massive elephant Jumbo is the reason why Jumbo is associated with large now.
Yep.
I would have learned a lot more if we had
Really?
show notes instead of doing my own research. But
So he was basically a marketer, wasn't he? Like that was his thing. Like he was basically like an incredible marketer. Like everything,
Yeah.
like when you read like almost everything he did, that he just just seemed to have a knack with like finding the angle that worked and running with it, kind of thing. I thought he was great. I thought he was just a massive troll, and
He was
very
like-
funny.
The perfect balance between a showman and a psychological predator. He knew exactly what people wanted, and he knew exactly how to give it to them and to make the most profit off of it.
Sarah Hansen said, Matt said that's America. We're simultaneously the best and the worst. Do you know what? It like when I was reading about his museum and stuff, though, it really did make me feel like this guy is so America. Like he's like the distillation of America. Like because obviously Europe had similar museums and stuff, but they just lacked the kind of
showmanship.
jazz. Yeah, the
There wasn't enough
size
jazz
and
hands.
yeah, there wasn't enough jazz and the size and the just the bombastic kind of massiveness of everything, and that's so America, right? Just kind of like taking something and going like just exploding it up on like a huge scale. I mean, look at Hollywood; it's like the easiest example, right? It's just so America. I really like Barnum. I think he's like when I was reading about like the descriptions of his museum, it was just like this just looks like it sounds like an absolute wonderland. Like for the time, probably for now, it would be pretty trippy if you went there. But I mean, yeah, like the roof garden that had hot air balloon rides off of it, and a great big like lamp that shone out like from that he purchased from a lighthouse. So I don't know if I mentioned that in the episode, but he purchased a lighthouse lamp and fixed it to the top of the roof of his museum, and then just shone it into the sky to like promote his museum.
It might have been in the notes.
Yeah, it's probably in the notes. Yeah, somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, no, I really liked Barnum. I thought he was a funny guy, and I kind of appreciated that side of him. The burning of live whales was probably less so exciting, but yeah.
That was.
To be
That
honest,
disturbed
the
me.
kind of making
That bothered
children
me more
drink
than
and smoke,
anything
I
else.
was okay with that. It was
Yeah.
the poor treatment of animals that was worse.
Yeah, that's the part that upset me.
Yeah.
But the poor treatment of humans, you're good with that, Sharona? It's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, yes.
Well,
pretty
yeah.
much.
They're getting paid. I mean,
Right.
I'm good with it.
Paid.
I'm good with it.
He just got hammered and had a bit of a smoke anyway, and wore some nice clothes. Probably having a whale of a time.
Kind of the goal.
Right. Like that's my goal in life almost every day is to, wear nice clothes, smoke and drink. So that kid was just living the life I wanted.
He was doing it since 5 years old.
So jealous.
So wrong.
Sarah Hansen said the whale death was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
It was pretty bad. Yeah.
It was pretty grim. Yeah. 'Cause
Oh,
they
God.
just, yeah.
Copper says, imagine living next to his museum, trying to sleep and a lighthouse light blinding you. Worst neighbor ever.
I reckon, imagine trying to do anything next to his museum. I bet whoever his neighbours were, even if they were another shop or museum, I bet they hated him because it was just constant ball ache for him. But I bet he loved it. I bet, he wasn't the sort of guy you'd go and knock on his door and say, can you keep it down? Because he'd just turn it up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
He gets a second
And then-
spotlight just for your room.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that better? Like,
He finds out what time you
Sleeping
go to
yet?
bed every night
yeah.
and has like a live band perform right outside your window.
Oh my God.
Just takes a hot air balloon over your window every night.
So they fully had like cabaret and everything in like live magic acts and stuff like that, like in the alongside all these kind of crazy.
Oh my God, P.T. Barnum was Vegas before Vegas was a thing.
Yeah.
He was
He
the
was-
human embodiment of Las Vegas.
He was the pre-Liberace without the sparkle.
Yes.
I found it very, very funny that even though everyone knew that his giant was a fake, they still went to go and see his giant over the real one. And
Do you think maybe they wanted to see like how great his con was?
Yeah,
Like we know
it's
it's fake, but let's see how great this fake is.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's
Like-
exactly it. I think that, that's how he marketed it, wasn't it? Basically, it was like, hey, we've got a fake giant, but it's a really good one.
I think my favorite was when he
absolutely
added the
absurd.
second one.
Oh, that was so good.
I have
Was it-
twice as many giants as you. Now what?
Was the second one a male or female? Because it would be really great if it was a female. Be like, oh, they were a couple.
It
the
didn't even
mated pair.
state, but yeah, it didn't state it. I don't know if it was. I just assumed that it was like a copy, so it was like like a replica or whatever. But who knows?
They have a model, or they just have like a little template. There's like, oh, we're just gonna throw this one in.
Just do another one.
Print another one out.
Well, he did, didn't he? Knocked out loads of them. That made me laugh as well. I was wetting myself when I was reading that. Like Otto Franz just like knocked out like 7 of them.
You could have 1 or 2 or 6 in case one gets broken,
And then, sorry, never mind. Side note. Oh no, I was gonna be like in China's like, excuse me, have you seen our terracotta warriors? Bring your giants. Like,
Bring your giant.
we got horse carriages and everything and armed footmen.
Yeah.
Bring it, you stone army against your giant. We'll see who wins.
Any day.
Yeah, I was a big fan. I was a big fan of just about everyone in this story. In fact, I don't think there was any real bad guys.
Yeah, except they were all kind of bad guys.
Yeah.
But
It
The
was
kind of
almost
bad
like,
guys where you're like, I want to be angry at you, but man,
yeah.
that charisma.
But damn, you're clever.
yeah, and he had a lot of fun.
The original point of the Cardiff giant was to like put egg on the face of the church who believed in like Nephilim giants and the flood and
Yeah,
all that,
so
or
that's what he says. He says that he got talking to that guy, and when he got home, he just thought, I can't believe that guy's like so gullible. I'm gonna fool him. I'm gonna
But the shift then became to seem like, oh, I'm gonna put egg on the church's face, to like, oh, now I'm just gonna rake in thousands of dollars.
I'm fairly sure that he
Like-
was like, oh, I'm gonna put egg on their face, and that was
And
like
And make a profit
small
at the
amount.
same time.
And the other 95% of his motivations were, let's get rich.
Got
He
it.
was like, wait, how can I do both?
Yeah. No, I reckon he was pretty much all about getting rich. Because he didn't admit that ever, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. Because, I mean, he had a history of, like, basically, like, trying to, like, defraud people from, like, you know, selling dodgy horses, dodgy card games.
How do you sell a dodgy horse?
I
It's
don't
really
know. It's a
Don't mind.
donkey
He only
with-
has 3 legs. It's fine. He runs really fast. He was the
One of
fastest
them's just
in the-
like a big
Gary.
cardboard cutout, just like stapled onto the side of it or something.
It's really a goat.
It's 2 guys in a horse
it's-
costume.
Yeah.
Don't get too close. He bites. Like,
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of a bad guy, but I kind of couldn't feel bad for like couldn't hate him really.
although
Yeah.
you gotta feel bad for that one guy who lost everything and then killed himself. I mean, that's
So that was
Kind
they
of a
were
bummer.
the victims,
Do
weren't
I
they?
have
Were
to,
like
though?
the scientists were the ones. But the thing
the
is,
right thing to do, Sharona.
I felt bad for the scientists, but I didn't feel very bad for almost anyone else, because like the scientists were just trying to do their job right with the best of the knowledge that they had at the time, but everyone else was essentially trying to profit. So you know, if you're going to take the risks, you can't really complain. You know, if you're going to go into a business venture that is high risk anyway, and say, oh, I'm going to drop 20 grand on a stone man that you've just dug out the floor in the hopes that it might be real and make me a fast buck. If it crashes, I mean, that's your problem, right?
Mhm.
Really. But I did feel bad for the scientists more, that were like, they're just trying to do their job, right?
I guess. I mean,
Especially in a time when doing your job was pretty like all over the shop anyway, because like geology wasn't even really a thing.
That's true.
so why was he licking stone? God.
He just wanted to seem smart.
Yeah.
And that's why geologists lick stone now. Got it.
Right.
Slop around in their wellies in a
You,
big
you know how
muddy
like in the movies where they show the person like throwing the grass, or like, yep, it's a northeaster wind. Like
Yeah.
you're just trying to lick smart. You just licked your finger like an idiot.
Yeah.
Stop pretending you can figure out wind direction.
Yeah, it's true. Isa of Enigma, she says, hearing all about the hominin hoaxes is one of the best parts about studying human evolution. You get all the best stories from the eccentric bioarchaeologists. That's true. Oh, see, where was she earlier? She says you can tell a lot about a stone by licking it.
pit.
That's one of the things we talked about when we set up the archaeological dig.
That's too funny.
Sarah says yes. That
That licking stone is the way to go about it. Was that the confirmation that we needed?
Grab me a rock.
Right.
Yep. Thanks, Hannah. Thank you.
Tastes like a crystal paperweight. Oh, there it is.
salt content.
See?
Yeah. Low acidity, mild salt, kind of like a crisp. Yeah.
I look it for science.
Now every time I
What
find
I
a rock
tell
on the ground,
them.
I'll look at the science. Yeah, exactly. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the Cardiff Giant. Really, absolute mental.
It was funny. It was great.
It was so much fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we could tell. It was appreciated.
But this,
Yeah.
the great thing is I mean, I there's a few kind of stories like this, right? Because I mean, the obvious one would be the Fiji Mermaid, but I don't. There's less of a story. But although the Fiji Mermaid is much more famous and like really big and stuff, it's less of a kind of story behind it. Basically, Barnum just bought it off a guy, like a sailor, or well, actually, Barnum didn't buy it. He leased it. Someone else bought it. And Barnum leased it off of him. But the story behind it's not really so crazy. Whereas the story behind the Cardiff Giant is actually quite mental when you actually kind of get in there and kind of dig around like the plan and all the rest of it. But there's a few of these kind of episodes with like kind of bonkers stuff. So I think probably like we'll kind of revisit the humbuggery in future. If nothing
Absolutely.
else, just to have the excuse to say humbuggery a few times more.
Absolutely.
I feel like back in that time, if I were to see the Fiji mermaid, I'd be really disappointed because I'd be like, "This is what Homer was talking about. These were the things singing you to
Right.
death." Like, okay. I know it gets lonely on that ship, but my goodness, this is not attractive.
I mean, it would have to get pretty
How
lonely, wouldn't
lonely
it?
do you have to be?
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
bad. Yeah. No. That's beyond lonely. That's like desperation mode. Uh-oh.
You'd be amazed.
Sarah says that he said to look up the Minnesota Iceman. We'll have to look that up.
Okay, yeah, I'm on board already. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Is that? It's not like the alien that they found in the ice, is it? That was actually like a piece of KFC or whatever.
I'm sorry?
'Cause that was quite
What?
modern. So there was like this that alien that they found in the ice, and when it was tested, it was basically like a chicken,
Okay,
like
so
a chicken fillet or whatever.
the Minnesota Iceman, the modern-day corpse of a human-like hominid preserved in a block of ice encountered by researchers in the 1960s. I'm on board with that.
California man.
What?
Minnesota. What?
Oh yeah, but I mean, is that film? That's called California Man, isn't it? Where they find
Encino Man.
See no man.
I know. I was like, what?
Oh right,
Brendan,
okay. So
Brendan Fraser or Sam
in
Austin?
my
Brendan
defense,
Fraser,
that's definitely
Sam
not called
Pauly Shore?
Encino Man
Yeah.
I'm still
in
lost,
England.
to be honest.
It's an old movie.
It's called California Man in England?
I think so. Yeah, they must have changed the name.
Why? Is Encino offensive? And
I don't think
you-
anyone knows where the hell that is.
we don't know where half of
California.
anything is. All right, cool.
I live in the U.S. and I don't know where that is.
Encino?
Yeah,
It's in California.
California.
I figured as much. Thank you.
Am I thinking about the same shit? Right.
Are you
Hold
serious?
on.
Copper said there were the guys who spent thousands of dollars on a Bigfoot corpse and it was just a costume. Oh my god, I've never heard of that. That's hysterical.
Wow.
That's
It is called Encino Man in America. Well, that's just blown my mind. Yeah, that was called California Man in England.
That's strange.
Wow.
Yeah, that is
The
weird.
things you learn.
That
Fire
was
Pixie,
like one
great
of my
idea for
favorite movies
historians.
when I was young.
A guy named Todd Colehep
yeah, that one's recent. It's like
killed a few
really
people and held another girl in a shipping container. Oh,
yeah,
the Amazon review killer. Oh God.
it's pretty
Ah.
recent.
It's only called Encino Man in the States. Everywhere
Oh,
else,
how
it's
funny.
California Man.
Apparently, everywhere else in the world besides the U.S., it's called California Man.
What is with this? The driving, the metric system, and now you guys are changing movie titles? Can we please just all universally get on one thing?
Yeah, we just have to catch up with the
They
rest
tried,
of
but
the
the
world.
boat sank.
Yeah, basically, we just have to start teaching the metric system.
There were the guys who spent thousands of dollars on a Bigfoot corpse and it was just a costume, right, Hallie? Anyone? Who was that?
It wasn't me.
I know, I
It's
don't
just
mean it
too
was you,
small.
but now you say that, I still don't believe you, actually. Now I wonder, was it?
I have no doubt that if you thought you could pull off a Bigfoot hoax, you would. You're just too small. A baby Bigfoot.
I could be a little foot.
A little. Aww.
Stilts.
A small foot.
Yeah, a small foot. That's like the opposite of a big foot, right? Small foot.
I would.
I
I would.
Would you buy a Bigfoot corpse? Say I was a peddler, right? So I'm knocking on your door, right? And it's like 2:00 in the morning, and I go, look what I've got in my back of my car, and there's like a Bigfoot corpse there, and I said to you, you can have it for $1,000. Would you buy it off me?
No, because how the hell did you get
No.
it in the back of your car?
How did I get it in the back of my car?
You personally, yes, you, Ben. You personally. How did you personally get it in the back of your car? That would be my first
hunted it.
question.
I hunted it.
Okay, now I know you're lying.
Second of all,
No, my answer would be no.
Even the verbiage. I hunted it.
Do you not hunted things then?
No,
Copper.
I hunted it.
What, you hunt? How did you do?
Copper. Copper. That's the only way Ben would be able to get it into his trunk.
Yes.
It's the only way.
Could you please? It's for this prank.
Like,
I'm doing.
you
Just,
I'm your
are you
Uber.
comfortable back there? Yeah. Come here.
Your Uber is here.
I could hunt. I could. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Phil,
can't even
you
keep a
hunt.
straight face.
No, yeah, I can't. He has no clue.
The
No.
only thing I feel like you can successfully hunt is like really good resources for a podcast story. I don't even know if you'd be able to like rummage food in your fridge for yourself.
He can hunt some bread in his cabinet pretty well, I think.
Is it? Yeah.
I have more confidence in your cat's hunting abilities than I think in yours.
I was
but-
thinking the same thing.
Ben would give Bigfoot a haircut before he brought him over.
Wants to look nice.
Yeah, if it's
Okay.
like nicely pruned.
But please, can you continue with this story, Ben? How you tracked, hunted, killed, and loaded a Bigfoot, and then what would you do? Sorry,
So all right,
since we're suspending all disbelief.
I'd paint my face, with some mud
Grease
and that,
paint, yeah.
like no, full on mud, like Predator style, and then I'd wear some greenish clothes, and then I'd shoot it with guns.
Multiple guns at the same time.
Yeah, like,
So believable.
and then I'd drag it into the back of my car,
Hmm.
As you
and
do.
then
By yourself?
yeah.
And once it's in the boot,
Go on.
I'd drive it,
Door
to
to door.
Hallie's house and say, like, do you want to buy this?
So,
$1,000.
so there's one very large flaw with your plan.
Go on.
only one Sharona.
You mean him shooting multiple guns at a time?
I'm only going to point out one. The caliber firearm required to
It was
take
a
down
rifle.
Bigfoot-
That's why I was holding it like that.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just
but
bird
the
shot.
caliber that would be required to take down a Bigfoot would put you on your ass. I'm sorry.
Nah, I'd be all right. Like that, innit? Like a musket.
He's already.
He would just
sitting, like,
Ben would just prop himself against a rock or a tree and be like, and hope for
Oh,
the
and
best.
break his collarbone.
Yeah.
Just
Just
hope for
hope
the
it
collar
isn't
and shoulder to still be like. Ugh.
But
Yeah,
then
I-
you know what, guys? Then while his shoulder's dislocated, he used his other hand to just drag that corpse.
just
No.
Right, like Rambo. He fireman
Spent the
carried the
rest of his life.
This is
picking
how
up
I can
rocks.
prove that I'm a survivor, right? I'm a hunter. I'd put my shoulder back in by dragging the Bigfoot. I'd jolt it. Like that's how I'd do it. Because that's how survivors do that kind of
That's
stuff,
not
right?
how that works.
That's
You
you.
grab hold of something really heavy and then you like yank on it so it jolts it, don't you?
This
That's
is
not
depends
how
on
it
how you
That only works
dislocate
I
it.
feel like your
Um,
this is quite the opposite.
dislocations.
Yeah, no,
Maybe-
this is proof right here. This quarantine's gone on too long. This is proof right here.
He's
Ben-
fantasizing about
Ben
shooting
has
Bigfoots with
deluded
muskets.
himself into thinking he is capable of hunting anything, much less a Bigfoot.
Yeah, if I remember
we should
clearly,
just
like
make turn this into a
live-
survival podcast.
if I remember clearly, like 8 live streams ago, you were whinging about how it was heavy to lift a piano,
Right. And you weren't
Right.
even talking about a piano.
and it was
you were
it was
talking about a keyboard.
like a Casio keyboard, right?
Yeah,
No,
sort of.
well, yeah. Not to mention the fact that it wasn't the whole thing at once; it was in parts.
Yeah, all right, fuck off, you lot.
Just a
I'd
bunch of girls
create some
pushing
sort
on
of
you.
pulley and winch system around a tree.
But didn't you also say in
Back to
another
the
video
car,
you need
all
help
the way
building your build case? So now you expect me to believe that you can do a winch and pulley system?
It's an IKEA pulley
Oh,
system.
see,
No.
okay.
The only
No.
believable thing is you politely inviting it into the car.
Yeah, all right. So
Mr.
Matt says
Sarah,
don't shoot
yeah.
it, do the meat trick like Chewbacca and Turner and Redo. Yeah, just trap him. Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Mr. Sarah's coming to your defense here.
But then does that
Okay.
mean I've got to drive all the way to Hallie's house with it
Yeah.
in my car alive?
That's
yeah,
Just keep
so
feeding it meat. Just
Yeah,
like,
it'd be like Harry
eat
and the
the
Hendersons.
I was just going to say the same thing.
so your
Yeah.
car will sink because there is an ocean between us. So
we create a bridge. That's his second
boat
task.
car,
He's building a
boat car.
bridge.
That'd be
boat
fine.
car. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of car do you have? Because
Boat car. I can't drive. I've never been able to drive.
so
Wow,
there's
there's-
another problem with your
There's
plan.
this.
It's a boat He catches
Car.
Bigfoot.
It's a boat car.
Boat car.
Wow, this is very SpongeBob. Boat cars.
That's like my whole life. It's very SpongeBob.
Lives in a pineapple under the sea.
The instinctual.
See, Eyes of Enigma, yeah.
I-
I'm with Eyes of Enigma here. This has just devolved into a Let's Rip on Ben live stream, yeah.
We're just
This is my favorite time of the live stream.
trying to
That's how
help
we
you
know our
develop
love.
a stronger plan to catch Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
We really,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all constructive.
Let's be honest, though, right? Let's be real. Okay. We've all
What you
seen
need is a
Bigfoot
really big
documentaries.
box
Anything that I've
and a
said,
stick.
any less realistic than what is on those Bigfoot National Geographic documentaries?
Absolutely not. No.
No.
Todd standing, eat your heart out.
Yeah, who was that guy who made that amazing
That's
one?
him. Todd standing.
I mean, I'm as likely to catch Bigfoot as that guy.
Oh my god.
Have you seen that,
So
Amanda?
bad.
Which one?
Oh,
Todd, what was Todd?
Discovering Bigfoot, I think is what it's
Oh.
called.
It's a thing of beauty.
It's an hour and a half of your life that you will never get back. And
It is awful.
the third party embarrassment that you feel for him the entire time is just cringeworthy.
It's like The Office, but real. And
yeah,
about Bigfoots.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they had this on Hulu,
Yeah.
and I watched it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And you just spend the whole time going, "Oh, honey."
Yeah.
So it kind of starts with him on like a 6-wheel tractor thing, doing like donuts, going, I've got all the equipment to hunt the Bigfoots.
Oh my god.
Like,
And then when he's like, I don't know if he's like LARPing when he thinks he's doing like this.
yeah.
I-
I mean, the whole thing is LARPing. That's what I do.
Oh god.
The whole thing is LARPing.
It's so
Yeah.
bad. It's just so bad. It's so bad.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It's pretty bad, but yeah.
So that's the episodes, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. Hey, but we actually kind of stuck on task this time.
Yeah. It's only like, 3/4 Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So,
That's not bad.
yeah.
Not bad at
Yeah,
all.
I mean,
When I do an episode about, if I ever do an episode about Bigfoot, do you reckon the live stream will just talk about all the other episodes?
Probably.
Good question. We'll have to find out. Good job, us. Sarah
Go
says,
team.
good job, us. Go team.
So yeah, what's going on? So next week then, if we're gonna watch this film,
Yes.
Ravenous,
Yes.
on.
Yes.
So if anyone wants to
Yes.
come, if no one is on the Discord or you're not on the Discord yet, basically jump on the Discord. You can find that details, darkhistories.com. And we've been doing a lot of film nights and Cards Against Humanity. We should do another Cards Against Humanity, maybe this
Yeah.
weekend if anyone's up for it.
should.
Tomorrow night, maybe even.
Yeah.
Bit of impromptu.
Panda wiped us
I'm
out
on
Cards.
board.
last time.
Yeah. If you guys want to do a card
Yeah.
humanity
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Panda is vicious.
Really
You
is.
guys, you're
Oh my
so
God.
sweet. Thank
Shower you with praise.
Although
Your Cards Against Humanity prowess.
you.
I think the other three of us were pretty much on par with each other. So
Yeah.
Oh man, but there was a couple times like we did really good timelines.
Yeah.
Really,
It
it was a good story.
We kind of dialed that in. It was pretty good. So yeah, we can do cards tomorrow. That's fine.
Yeah. So if
Yeah,
anyone's not on the Discord, jump on. It's a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
it's basically keeping at least me semi-sane during the lockdown business. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's entertaining to look
And you know
too.
what? We've had a lot of new people join Discord. So if you're listening or watching this afterwards or whatever,
Hey, Andrea.
welcome. Yeah, welcome. It's.
yay.
Okay, is it
It's really
Andrea
cool.
or Andrea?
I was just gonna
It's
ask
Andrea,
Andrea.
Oh,
Okay. But
but I'll
yeah.
pretty much answer to anything close.
But no, it's
Same.
been great. We've had a lot of new people join, so that's awesome.
Mm.
It's really cool.
It's actually been really fun. Like the whole Cards Against Humanity idea, like Amanda came up with, I think, like because of the lockdown. But actually,
Panda's a
I mean, that
genius.
should become like a staple because it's really fun just to
Yeah.
get on and like
I just-
play a few
you know what?
games and.
It wasn't for your guys' boredom. I just like to know that I'm not the only one out there who has like really effed up thoughts. So when other people like go there and I'm like, oh, I could be myself. Like I can just let it rip.
Yeah, when Panda and I were playtesting, we discovered that we're pretty much like the same person, just on opposite sides of the country.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have to spread it out. It's too powerful in one place.
Yeah. Then a nexus opens, and then that's how we got baby Satan. Everybody,
Ta-da!
So you're basically Horcruxes.
yes.
Good job that has a longer word.
Oh, I'm sorry. I asked this, and you weren't on the Cards Against Humanity. Ben, what's your house for Harry Potter?
Um,
Sorry, this is critical, guys. Sorry.
definitely Ravenclaw.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. That's
Right
acceptable.
choice.
Definitely.
We were right. We did good.
Yeah, I mean, because I thought the live stream was wrapping up, but strap yourselves in because we got a couple of hours here.
Hey, I'm in for Harry Potter discussion
Yeah.
anytime.
I'm
I mean, Ravenclaw's the only one that makes sense, right?
Wait, but did you take the Pottermore test, or is that just your?
Yeah. No. So when I did Pottermore, I was Gryffindor, and I flipped my table and did it again and got Ravenclaw.
I did the same thing.
You told the
Bravo.
Sorting Hat no.
yeah.
Absolutely not. There may be some bias towards Ravenclaws. I did the same thing. I got Gryffindor first, said no thank you. Got Ravenclaw, said maybe, took it again. And then I made like 7 more Pottermore accounts and then proceeded to Google a bunch. And somebody said, that's how you know you're a Ravenclaw. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say I was one of the original Pottermore betas.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Man,
We
dropping
are-
some cred here.
I know. We're amongst royalty and didn't
Yeah, right.
know it.
All right.
So I mean, I'd take Hufflepuff, like if it came. Like wouldn't have flipped any tables for that. I'd accept that, and that would be
Good.
fine.
Good.
But the other two, like Slytherin and Gryffindor, they're just chumps, really. I mean, Gryffindor, what the hell are they anyway?
Oh, careful now.
Gryffindor is questionable at best. I found a quiz the other day that gives you percentages of what house you are, and I am like 90. There, I don't like how it is because you could be up to 100 on all of them, but I was like 98% Ravenclaw, 96% Slytherin. I was like, oh,
Well, see, I
Which
think
makes
Gryffindor is
sense.
essentially,
she's a Slytherin, 100%.
if you're not quite any of the other three, you kind of just end up in Gryffindor, right? If you're not quite a Slytherin, then you're in Gryffindor.
If you're not
quite,
really cunning, if you're not really smart, and if
Yeah.
you're not loyal, we're just gonna keep you in with the lions.
yeah. Because if you look at them, like you've got Hermione, who she should be a Ravenclaw for starters.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Neville should be a Hufflepuff for what
Right.
the fuck are they? They're just a mess. Just a hodgepodge bunch. They're just a mongrel. Yeah.
You know what really irks
I know.
me being a Ravenclaw is the representation in the movies are like really shitty like Ravenclaw alumni.
Yeah.
Luna. That's-
Sarah says, "What is this Harry Potter you speak of?" Well, I said 2 hours.
Wow. So much for Sarah and Mr. Sarah.
Oh, let me go and get my books.
I recently reorganized my library, and in doing so, realized I had a minimum of 3 copies of each book.
Oh, I think that's definitely the.
Well, yeah, you have the
got
Kindle
illustrated
version, the
ones?
softback, and the hardback, right?
And then at one point she bought a bunch of like nice hardbacks for me, and then I was looking online. I was like, oh, maybe I want to get that cover, and just
Have you
have
seen the illustrated ones? 'Cause
normal.
they're amazing.
I want to
They're
get
so
that.
good.
Is that similar to the Japanese ones you have? The illustrated ones?
The illustrated ones are like this big,
Huge.
like square.
I say big,
and
yeah.
like that fat, and they're proper. I mean, I would go and get them, but they're in the upper room, and plus, I
And
don't think
again,
anyone's really that interested. But they're amazing. Like every.
I mean,
page
I
is,
was,
like,
but thanks for
illustrated.
downplaying it.
All right, well, wait there.
Way to just dismiss my interest like nothing.
No, I've heard people
As he
swear.
trips walking out of the room.
I've heard people swear that the illustrated ones are the best way to read them.
Oh my god. He's so funny. Oh my. Those are
Yeah,
big.
they're huge. I've seen them at the store.
Wow, was
I
that
really
so
wanna
hard
say-
then? Look at that. That was not even
He's
like
out of
That's
breath.
Goblet of Fire. This is the newest one because they've only got up to the Goblet of Fire, but they're literally like every page pretty much is like illustrated like that kind of vibe.
Oh, nice.
Like with small kind of little illustrations, but then they have like ones like that are like full page, like, and
All right, that's pretty cool.
they're totally badass. they're amazing.
That's-
Yeah, they're just beautiful things. So everyone should own them.
I know people who swear by reading the books out with the illustrated ones.
They're just so
See.
good. And like they do like whole landscapes
that.
and stuff. But no, they're great. But they are really heavy and really unwieldy and really not very useful. But they just look beautiful. So yeah.
They're like coffee table book size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they're like coffee tables pretty much. Like you could actually use them as your furniture. But yeah, anyway, that's a Harry
Well, that's if you had
Potter.
a table made of mahogany to hold it. So you linked it all back together.
Yeah, I reckon this one would hold
Bring
up
it
my
back
arm.
around.
I reckon I could
See?
get. I reckon that could take a body or two.
2.
Before the blood started, sort of softening it a little bit. Like,
Depends on how quick you are.
yeah, exactly. And if they're drained before, would they be drained before they'd be put on the table?
Only if they were attacked by
You could arrange
vampires.
it.
You would think they would drain them, right? Because otherwise your kitchen's going to be a right state.
You just like, oops,
What do they care? It's not their kitchen.
Is this questions that we should really be thinking about?
Well, if they,
what
I would imagine they would.
I don't know what show it was, but they used to like hang them up like deer and
Yeah.
let them drip dry.
Let them drip dry.
There's a visual for you.
This is why I play Cards Against Humanity.
This is why everyone had like a slaughterhouse in the back of their place of living. Just hang up the body and drip
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill the chickens and autopsy your aunt.
And you don't even have to clean. You
All
just
in
use
the
the same
same place.
knife, right? Just continue down the
Yeah.
line.
Eyes of Enigma says this is an alarming train of thought. It is. And it's also the last one. So on that note, have a good night, everybody. Thanks very much for coming.
Have a good night, everyone.
And yeah, say next week, jump on the Discord. We're going to do Ravenous and yeah, I imagine some Cards Against Humanity throughout the week. So yeah. And it's an episode next week, isn't it?
With show notes?
Yeah, I should probably even start writing those.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Thanks very much for everyone for coming. It's been a pleasure. So, good night, I guess.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Thanks very much. I